Hey guys, welcome to our new segment, Thirsty Thursdays, where we're going to talk everything COVID. No, we're not going to talk anything COVID, or try not to. I wanted to do something where we can answer questions, review images, do tips and tricks, easy lighting setups, things like that. And actually, COVID was a little bit of a inspiration since we're all stuck at home. And today, I thought we would start with a bottle of my favorite rum, Thirsty Thursdays, why not, right? And it's called Boom Boo. It is an aged rum, and usually when you're doing a bottle shot, we're gonna have a nice highlight on the outside. The liquid's going to be lit inside. We're shooting on a dark background, and you always want to make sure you have a clean bottle and remove the label from the back. In this case, it was printed on, and that's a little more challenging. So I went ahead and have done that already. If you're going to do this or follow along, try a bottle that has a printed label, not actual printing on the glass. And you can use some warm soapy water, let it sit in that for a little bit, take a razor blade, and it should scrape right off, and you'll be ready to go. So let's get this shot rolling so we can pour ourselves a glass of Boom Boo, get in the editing room, and get this picture dialed in. Hey guys, here we are on our tabletop. I picked up this board from Home Goods. You can try Home Goods, a local thrift store, West Elm, whatever fits your pocketbook. We have our bottle of Boom Boo here. We're going to clean it again, even though I did a little cleaning on it already. And white glove might be a little too much, but habit. Got a little cleaning fluid. Give it a little spray. Pick up a microfiber cloth. Make sure you get it nice and clean. Get off any smudges. We'll pick that up in a second. Get our bottle lined up. Let's move it forward a little bit here. Let's look and see how we're doing. We'll use live view. Pretty much right in the middle. Let's get focus. I always turn off my autofocus. Probably a lot easier to get to without these gloves on. I always turn off my autofocus once I have it locked in. That way I don't have to worry about changing focus or anything on the camera if I happen to come around, touch it while I'm firing it or anything like that. Like I said, we're going to be doing this with one speed light. I'm also not going to use any type of trigger to control my camera. The only trigger I have on top is because I'm using these flashpoint speed lights from Adorama. And if you're using a Nikon speed light or a Canon speed light for your camera, they have control via commander via the camera. And if you're using a third-party speed light, you usually either pick up a controller or a set of pocket wizards, or I know Yongnuo makes something to control your flashes. So we got that set up. We're going to take a piece of just white paper and fold it in half. And we are going to measure approximate height of the liquid in the bottle, not the bottle itself. Once we have that, take a pair of scissors and we're going to trim that down. Now I've already done this, so I'm not going to cut into this piece of paper. Now you want to take this, line it up behind your bottle. Let's take a look. Okay, I can't see it. You don't want to be able to see it outside the sides of the bottle, which we can't. So now let's dial down the power on our flash. I'm going to go to 64th. Like I said, I have this on a 2-second timer. Let's see how that turns out. That looks pretty good. We'll take one more. Let's make a little adjustment here. That looks even better. But let's dial the light down again, 1/28. And that looks pretty good. There is a little hot spot on top that I'm not liking, so we'll do one more. Still showing up. All right, that should take care of it. Yeah, looks good. You got to remember when you're doing these that there is going to be some trial and error because we're using a speed light. We're not using a studio light like the ones behind me where you can see what the light's doing as you're setting it up. Guess I don't need to play Michael Jackson anymore. So now we'll remove this white card. Now we want to light the background, and for that, take a regular piece of paper, make kind of a U shape. Make kind of a U shape like you see there. And what that's going to do is that's going to cast more of a circular pattern on the background. We're going to need to change the power. try a 16th. See how that came out. It's not too bad. I think we can do a little better. That looks pretty good. Let's try a couple of different angles, just so we have some options. All right, those can be interesting. Put that back over here. Now we're going to light the front of the bottle, focusing on just the label. And again, just take a regular piece of printer paper. We're just making a little bit of a diffuser with the paper, and we want to try to get the same angles as our light that we had coming in. So let's go from over here. See how that turns out. It's actually not too bad. Let's take a couple more just so we have options. Let's dial down the power. Go to 64th. Those are interesting. Do one more over here. Let's adjust the power one more time. One more. Let's go back up a little bit. Those look pretty good. All right, let's talk settings. On the camera, we have 1/320th of a second, which is as fast as my Nikon can go and still sync with my speed light. It might be 1/250th for some of you guys. And we want to use that because we want to cut out all the ambient light. So between 1/320th and shooting at ISO 100, we're going to cut out all ambient light. And if we take a photo, let me turn off the speed light. If we take a photo, it'll just be black. There we go, nothing on the screen. So again, we're shooting at f11 to get a nice depth of field. We're shooting at ISO 100, so we have a nice clean image. And we're shooting at 1/320th of a second. For some of you, it might be 1/250th of a second, depending on what your camera is. And that's just gonna cut out all the ambient light. So the only light that we see is from our speed light. We've got the background lit. We've got the liquid inside the bottle lit. We've got the label lit. Now let's work on the cork. I have a black piece of paper, construction paper, that I cut and made a little snoot out of to help direct the light. Slides right over the front of my speed light. We want to use the same angles as we're using to light the label. We're on a 2-second delay. And that's probably going to be too hot. Yep, that is way too hot. So let's dial down our power. Take another shot. Let's see what that looks like. That looks good. We'll take one more a little further over just so we have a little variation. Do one more. All right. Yeah, I think we'll have plenty to work with there. Again, all these materials are stuff that you can probably find at home. It's, like I said, printer paper and just black construction paper. We've got the highlights on the outside of the bottle, the liquid inside the bottle, the background, the label, the cork, and the board, all lit in different shots. So let's go pour ourselves a little Boom Boo or whatever it is that you're drinking, and we'll start editing. All right, guys, here we are in the editing room. Cheers. All right, let's get started with this edit. First, I want to show you guys what I was referring to with the label on the bottle. So if you look here, this one was shot with the label still on it. This one without. You can definitely see the writing and everything on the back, and there's still some blemish on mine that I cleaned, but we can clean those couple of little things up in Photoshop pretty easy. So let's get started. First thing I always do is I bring everything into Lightroom, and I'll just pick one. It doesn't matter. Alright, let's get started. We'll start with this one. So if you press D, that launches your develop module, and I always come in and right off the bat I enable lens correction so it can see what lens that I'm shooting with, and it'll adjust for any distortion for that lens. Go back under basic. Instead of Adobe Color, I always do camera neutral. That's what I shot in camera, so that matches up. So G takes you back to the gallery. We'll select all, and if you right click and go under develop settings and then sync settings, you can also press Shift Command S on a Mac. I am not sure what it is on a PC. I would assume Alt Shift S. We're going to check none, process version, calibration. We're going to go to lens correction, and we're going to do treatment and profile. And then we're going to synchronize. Now that should have everything on the same setup. So let's see, go over one just to check. Camera neutral, lens correction, sees what lens we're using, which is the Sigma 105 macro lens. Alright, awesome. Go back to the gallery, which is G. And you can see more shots here than we need. So the reason we have that is that there are a couple of different backgrounds here in yellow. So we'll look at those really quick. Got one where we lit it from the bottom, one where we lit it from the top right. And if we keep going, this was for the cork. No, I take it back, this is for the label. And if we keep going, you can see this one is for the label, this is for the label. They both look pretty good. I kind of like how the highlights are hitting on this one. And you can just read the logo a little bit easier. There's a little bit more detail. So we'll use that one. We'll mark this one down to a 1, knowing that we're not using it. Then we have the cork. I think I like this one. So we will get rid of this one. And now we have the highlights on the bottle that I was talking to you guys about. One thing I wanted to tell you guys, I didn't tell you when we were in the studio. The further back you have your scrim from the bottle, the closer your highlights will be to the edge of the bottle. So right here, you see you have a nice highlight along the edge, and then you still have some more bottle left. And as we go down, you can still see same thing, some nice highlight and some bottle on the outside. Keep going. This was the last one. Oh, let's go back to that. This is the last one, and if we zoom in here, you can see the highlight on the outer edge, and that's because I had moved the scrim a little further back from the bottle. And so that made the highlight sit at the edges of the bottle versus inside the edge of the bottle. So this will be the one we keep. We'll get rid of this one. Get rid of this one. And now this moves on to lighting the wood that we have the bottle on. There's a couple of these that I like. I like the light on this one, but I like that we get a little light from the bottle back here on this one. So I think this will be the one that we use. Mark that one down. So that should leave us back to the gallery. That should leave us with 7. And that's going to give us the liquid inside the bottle lit, 2 different backgrounds, a label, a cork, a highlight on the edges of the bottle, and the wood that it was shot on. So now we'll select all of these, and you can right click, go to edit in, and instead of going to Photoshop, we're going to go all the way down here to the bottom where it says open as layers in Photoshop. Because we didn't move the tripod and we had everything locked down, everything should line up, and we shouldn't have to cut and paste or drag layers from one document to another and have several documents open. This might take a minute. So as this opens up, we're going to be working in blend modes today. Blend modes and masks. And when we're done, I think you will be
very happy with the result. You might have to organize your layers a little bit depending on how you bring them into Lightroom. Let's bring our layer palette over here so you guys can see it. All of our layers are open. We have the liquid on top, followed by background, followed by our second background, followed by our label, our cork, our highlights, and our deck. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our two backgrounds, bring those to the bottom. So those will be our base. So what I always do to keep things nice and tidy is I label my layers. Background, background, wood, highlights, cork, label, liquid. So now what I do for each one of these is I apply a layer mask. If you hold down Option, it will fill your layer mask with black. If you don't, it'll fill it with white. And remember, white reveals and black hides. So we want these to be hidden right now. So I want them filled with black. Alright. Next we want to grab all of these and apply a blending mode of lighten. And then we can go back into each one of these and just show you what that did. I'm going to turn off this layer mask. And if you see, when you use the blend mode of lighten, this was our original shot that we had to light up the liquid inside. So there's a lot of black. Keep wanting to reach and point toward the screen. There's a lot of black, and anything that is lit is going to show up, and anything that is not lit, it's just going to disappear. So here you can see the edges of our flash because that's where the light was coming out from and being reflected off the bottle and the card. You see the wood where it was lit from the flash, and you can see the liquid being lit. So turn this layer mask back on, grab a brush, make it a decent size soft brush. If you hold down your shift key and your bracket keys, that will make your brush harder and softer. If you don't hold down shift and you just use your bracket keys, it'll make your brush larger. So we'll get a decent sized brush, make the edges really soft. And we'll go back here, we'll make sure we have white selected on the top. Make sure that we're on the mask. And we'll just go in here. You don't have to be too precise because we are using the blending modes. So we'll go in here, we'll just paint all this in that we want. And if you get some things that you didn't want, which we do here, I really don't care to have the white in the bottom of the glass or the white up here in the top of the glass. I just want the liquid. So if you go over here and switch your colors to black on top, you can do that by hitting X or flipping this little tab right here. So make sure black's on top. Go back in and paint a little, just a little bit. Kind of like we should be channeling our inner Bob Ross and painting some happy little trees. There we go. So that's our liquid. Now we got our label, so I'll select that, make sure we're on white, go in here and just paint that. That label on. Make sure we're got black, get rid of anything that we didn't want to bring through. Alright, same thing with the cork. Make sure that you select the layer mask. Make sure you have white in your top color picker. Go in here with a big soft brush. Paint in just what you want. You can see this already starting to take shape. Now here's where the kicker is really going to happen, is with these highlights. When you look at the bottle right now, you got some liquid in the bottle that's lit. You got a cork, you got a label. We're going to go in and work on the label a little bit here in a second. But there's nothing really carving out this bottle. We have a dark background and we have dark edges of the bottle. So layer mask, white. Look at that right there. Carving that bottle right out. Go up here and get some in the neck. Might remove some of that. Alright. Just a little bit here. I don't know how much I like that. Let's get rid of that. And let's try that again with a soft brush. There we go. That might be too much. I want to just get just a kiss. Just a kiss of white. X that out. Go ahead and paint back in the dark on the wood. The bottle's looking a lot better already. So now we're going to select layer mask on the wood. X to get our white on top. Remember, white reveals. Like a little bit of that bottle being lit. Basically, we're taking all the best pieces from all the shots. And now, that was with our background from the top. Now if we turn off This one, I think I kind of like the one being lit from the top a little better. So let's go in and work on this label really quick. If we go under filter, camera raw filter, that's going to bring up our original shot. We go under shadows, open that up a bit, while I highlight some contrast in there, and exposure up a little bit. See how that ends up looking. There we go. That makes the label pop a little bit more. Now we need to go in and do a little cleanup and get a smaller brush. Select black. Black hides, white reveals. There we go. And now for the wood, we're going to add an adjustment layer. Go to hue and saturation. If you hold down Option, and you can see when you click or move your cursor right in between the two layers, the hue saturation layer and the wood layer, it gives you this little arrow down. When you click that, that means this hue saturation layer will now only affect the layer below it. It means it's locked to the layer below. So now bring our hue saturation in here and try to get something that we like the wood a little. I think it needs a little more color to it. That's a little too red. Saturation back a little bit. Let's see. I think that's a little too red still. Go. And we can do another one on the background. Hue saturation. Get a little bit more magenta in the background just to give it a little bit warmer color. I think the liquid inside is a little too vibrant. You can do the same thing, hue saturation, lock it to the layer below, and pull all the color out. Darken a little bit, which I think is the route we want to go. Somewhere in there looks pretty good. So we can take all of this, group it, put it in a folder, call it original. Now we can create a new layer on top, and we'll just call this one Cleanup, just so we don't have an extremely long tutorial on Thirsty Thursday. I think that's a trigger word. You can come over and use your spot healing tool or your stamp tool, whichever one you're more comfortable with. Make it a soft brush, and with the spot healing tool, it just saves you a little. It'll do some of the work for you. You can see how it turns out. And let the computer do some of the work. Alright, this area here will probably take a little bit more finesse, but let's see what it'll do. And what I did there was that I clicked with my spot healing brush, held down shift, click in another spot, and it'll draw a straight line for you. Thing with the spot healing brush is it might take a few passes. You can switch back and forth between the stamp tool whenever I use the stamp tool. I usually set my opacity somewhere around 20, and same thing with my flow. And that allows me to build up an area. Alright, we'll try a couple of more tricks here. Got a healing brush. You can select the area that you want it to take from. Then it will blend that area for you. And come over here, fix a lot of this. Go back over and get your spot healing brush, take care of some of these little guys. I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch me clean up this bottle, but for the most part you can look and see, because we lit it from the back, you got a few little imperfections that show up. This is from not cleaning the bottle well enough. Remember I told you guys to try this with a bottle that has a paper label? Try this with a bottle that has a paper label. Don't try the ones that are have printing on the back. They can be a nuisance. Again, I'm starting to get carried away here. Let's open this back up. So, really quick to highlight, open up the layers, turn them all off. We had a background We added the wood. Changed the color of the wood. We added highlights to the side of the bottle. We added a cork. We added the label. We added the liquid. We have our hue and saturation layer and our cleanup layer. We'll save that, and it will save right back into Lightroom. Alright guys, this is taking a while to save. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, got some good information. If you liked it, smash that like button, subscribe. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. And if you'll hashtag Dalton Hamm Photography on Instagram, and let me see some of your bottle shots. Let's see what you get. Cheers.
Hey guys, welcome to a new segment. Rum's called Boom Boo. Got it right here. Bringing in the frame a little bit more might help. And that means we're going to be doing why am I getting hung up there? Creativity. But I wanted to, I'm stuck in the studio. I've got a home studio. That's not like being stuck at home. And I'll see you guys in the editing room. Damn it. And I'll see you guys in the editing room. Damn it.